inspiration, education, action. This is the Seeds to Success Show with Ben Godinez on Money 105.5.
Welcome back to the Seeds to Success Show. I am your host and Insurance 101 guy, Ben Godinez with Gateway Insurance Group. Take the if out of life and learn how to live. We are here with Andrew from Flatland Brewing Company in Elk Grove, right off of the 99, right when you pass the Emerald Lakes Golf Course, if you've ever been there, so you can stumble down the street and try out their rotating tap, 100% rotating tap, which is pretty incredible. But if you're tuning in with us live on Facebook, on the Seeds to Success page, you guys can actually see them behind the scenes. So make sure that you guys, if you're in front of your computer, to tune in. Now we're going to really ask the wife here, the backbone of Flatland, a little bit more about what it takes to be a family man, have kids, have a steady, stable job, and then start a brewery?
Just
Michelle,
giving it all up.
All up for beer? What? So, Michelle, can you give us your perspective a little bit on where you guys were and where you're at now, and really just what you guys have had to go through in order to be a pioneer?
Absolutely. So you guys heard how he started with the whole home brewing endeavors when we lived in the Bay Area, and when we moved to Elk Grove, he kind of, continued with the passion for the talent when he worked at the homebrew location. And he was also in the adult beverage world, previously more so on the wine and spirit side of it. And that was really when we started talking more and more about taking the leap, and him really, working with his entrepreneurial side and taking the leap to start his own business. And for those of you guys that don't know, we have a family of 4. We have 2 young kids. 2 of them, a 2-year-old she just turned, and one that's about to be 4. So we've got a lot on our plate. Full-time job for myself with a commute. We've got a dog. We've got the 2 kids. We've got a home that we share together.
The American dream.
Absolutely. So, we figured, why the heck not? We're already tired. We've got enough on our plates. Let's just open a business. And it was so important for me to help him foster this dream and just, to really help get behind him. So anything that I can do to be of support, I've done so far, and I will continue to do. It's really rewarding for myself to see him live out his dream like this. The success and the support that we've seen from the patrons and, the city of Elk Grove and family members, of course. We've had so many countless supporters, and we could not be more thankful for where we're at so far. And yes, it's absolutely been a hard journey, and yes, it's going to be harder, and that's a sign of success in my book, though.
Yeah, so that's the key.
Absolutely. So I'm definitely proud of where he's come in just a short amount of time, and I can only imagine where it's going to take us.
That's so awesome. You guys moved up to a new territory, right, from Walnut Creek up to Sacramento.
Yep.
You get a stable job, and then a few years later...
Throw it out the window.
You throw it out the window.
Yeah. Good insurance, and, it's just time to go. It was the time to act, and again, in the beer world... It's a high tide right now. There are so many new breweries opening. I think I just read something about 2 a day opening. So we're not unique.
2 a day.
Isn't that insane?
What?
2 a day. So it's like you said, it's not saturated right now, especially in Elk Grove. Sacramento's a little more so. But there's still obviously a thirst out there. There's still room to grow. So it was the time to do it. I in my mind was like, I'm just going to wait 5 more years to see what happens. 5 more years to see what happens with the market. And I'm glad I didn't wait, because I don't think we would be where we are or where we're going to go in that time. I think it probably would have set us back, not only the 5 years, but probably a few more years on top of that.
That's true. I mean, they say that, compound interest is the most powerful force in the universe, right? And
Sure.
you, by getting in sooner, now we're going to be a recipient of that compound interest as Elk Grove grows.
Yeah, I hope. And, it's hard to say. Of course, every business is for profit. Otherwise, don't open a business,
Right.
But that is definitely not our first goal.
Right.
I want to be able to have a successful business and make sure it runs. But gosh, the people, the community in Elk Grove is being so small. 160,000 people, but there's such a small community, small town feel.
Right.
We got to take care of the people.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we can give them beer. Do it.
Who doesn't love a good beer?
Exactly.
Hey, did you know that beer, they just recently, and this is like in the last year or so, they recently just found a recipe for beer. I believe it was in in Asia somewhere, a recipe dating back older than the oldest wine.
Wow.
Did you hear about this?
I didn't.
So, yeah, it was non-carbonated, obviously. It was way before yeast. It was basically it consisted of wheat, barley, and it was some other little tiny ingredient, like a spice of some sort.
Right.
And that's all it was fermented. So no carbonation, probably served warm. you know?
Yeah.
And so anyway, beer's been around for thousands of years.
Yeah.
No different than wine.
It's funny. There's a few documentaries out there about that and how beer saved the world practically.
Yep. Beer saved the world. I love it.
It's funny. It's a cool perspective to watch. And, you know, in that context, yeah, absolutely. It saved the world. And, you know, it saved our world. You know, I could have been doing the same thing over and over and over. But, you know, we jumped ship and look where we are now. I'm pretty happy. Working a lot more, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's talk about that. I want to kind of talk a little bit about more of the benefits of beer. Because for some people, they think Coors Light as beer, unfortunately. So let's talk a little bit more about the remedy of beer to educate people, as that's what this show is about, and something that's not really talked about. Because I think wine is very culturally acceptable to sip on, but beer isn't quite yet a household name for something to be a connoisseur of. So...
Yeah. I mean, it was a blue collar beverage. You know, it's after a hard day of work, you go and have a beer. But it's becoming something quite different these days, where it is a craft, and the amount of flavors that we're getting, and just the amount of components that you use to make a beer are, I mean, tenfold of wine. What you could, you know, so the complexity, the carbonation. We did a beer pairing recently, and gosh, it just pairs better with food than wine.
What do you know?
But yeah, benefits, health benefits. It is a healthy beverage. You know, put down that sugary sports drink and grab a beer.
Right? 21 and older?
Yes, of course.
Absolutely. So I wrote down a couple of things that we discussed and some things that I've researched myself. One of them, can you talk a little bit about the folic acid? Because I realized that folic acid is an essential part of your macronutrients that you're supposed to have.
Yeah, and actually beer is I mean, as much as we drink, but it's a huge source of folic acid. And there's really not many sources out there in the human diet that actually can carry folic acid. So make sure you drink your beer and get your folic on.
Riboflavin, what is that?
Gosh, what is riboflavin? As far as I know, it's kind of like an antioxidant sort of thing that helps free radicals. We kind of talked about that a little bit, and it helps decompress and strengthen muscle and loosen up a little bit.
So check this out. So I play baseball, as all of our viewers and listeners know. I play baseball every Sunday, and I play softball during the week. And my arm gets tired, right? Everybody's arm gets tired, especially if you're a pitcher. And one thing that they tell you to always do is, you know, you make sure you stretch or whatever and drink a lot of water. But what happens is, and we talked about this a couple of weeks ago on the show with Gina and Guy about fitness equals success, and they talked about oxidation in your cells. So when you throw a lot or you have some repeat type of muscle breakdown, whether you're working out, doing CrossFit, or you're at the gym, and especially baseball, you have the same, you know, muscle movements and whatever, and it breaks down that tissue. And so what happens is that your cells, they oxidate, just like if when you cut an apple in half and you leave it out, it gets brown. That's oxidation. That's essentially what's happening to your muscles, because you're breathing in more oxygen and it's kind of breaking down your cells. So what riboflavin does is it helps combat those free radicals that are produced from your muscles oxidating. And so by having a beer afterwards is one of the best remedies after you play baseball. Have a beer, and not your Coors Light, okay? I'm talking about something that actually has content, not club soda with a splash of alcohol.
Right.
Okay, so that's why I like to, you know, have a beer before or after a softball game, because it helps that breakdown, and it loosens up, it thins your blood, so it doesn't clog up as much, and it actually is somewhat of a remedy.
Yeah, and a ton of vitamins. There's a ton of B vitamins in there that really help you go a long way. I mean, before and after any game, do it.
I love it. And actually, sometimes they have runs that are centered around beer. They have the beer mile run.
Right. Yeah.
Do you guys know about these things?
Yeah, I've heard about this, and actually, there's quite a bit of press these days about it. You know, some new runners actually setting some records doing it.
That's incredible.
Not at my alley, but I'll leave that to them.
Right. Michelle, what kind of benefits have you seen from beer, if any?
One of the most recent ones that I saw that I was excited about is increased bone density. So
what?
You're setting yourself up for future success right there.
I love it.
Yeah.
Future bone density, yeah, because that's what happens when you get older, right? Your muscles get frail.
Naturally you're going to lose that bone density, so.
Right, okay.
Why not plan for it while you can?
Because there's so many articles nowadays about wine, like there needs to be more about beer, in my opinion.
Yeah, and you know, there are. Charlie Bamforth did quite a bit. He's the professor at UC Davis, and he does quite a bit of health benefits of beer and all that sort of stuff. And
you can actually get a degree in this, can't you?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Like a brewery degree. I don't know what it's called. But
yeah, so UC Davis is the local school that actually has it. It's education in brewing science.
No way.
You know, there's Harriet Watt out in England or Scotland, and there's a handful of schools, and more and more schools are opening programs like this to see the amount of demand needed in the industry.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it's great.
I love it. I'm going to give a little plug here for Riscate again, because talking about craft and talking about the health benefits here, I'm totally switched over now to like a cold brew or iced coffee. I was never a fan before, but it reminds me, as you guys had the pairing before, why I loved the porter so much is because it's not so thick, and it has the characteristics of chocolate, which have antioxidants in it, and what's the other one that I picked up? I'm trying to remember the porters now. It's been a couple months.
Yeah. I mean, just a huge amount of coffee flavor. I mean, from blueberry to blackberry and
like
chocolate
some of the
fruitiest
spice. Yeah. And so I've also been reading about the health benefits of coffee, and it helps stimulate your metabolism. And what's the other one though? You're losing the scientific word. I'm not a scientist. I don't know. It just makes me more effective and efficient.
I like the caffeine.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
It's coffee in the morning, beer at night, and that's the only way we're alive right now. Trying to open a business.
Okay, by the way, so Saturday, July 16th, Riscate Coffee, that's Rescue Coffee, for those of you guys that don't know, in Elk Grove, they're having a grand opening. They just got their sign up, and so you guys, Flatland's going to be there, Seeds of Success, myself, and a few other of their partners and their friends are going to be supporting Riscate Coffee's grand opening. So 7 to 10 a.m., freeze size upgrade for any drip coffee. So if you order small, you're going to get a medium. If you order medium, you're going to get a large. And then they're going to have what they call a blessing ceremony. So they're going to have some dancers there, some Kapuli dancers. I'm not going to try to pronounce the name of them. But be there at 10 a.m., for Riscate Coffee's grand opening. Visit with all the different partners, myself included. Learn more about what they do, their coffee, and they're also going to have some free mini cupcakes if you hang around there. So food, drinks, free upgrades, and then they're also going to do like $1 off frappe blended drinks, and some from 5 to 8 summer dessert nights are going to start. So make sure you go out and support our local coffee house there in Elk Grove, right off of Highway 5 on Elk Grove Boulevard. And are you guys going to have any beer there as well?
We won't have beer, but we will have prizes. So stop by our booth. Yeah, they're going to do some raffles, give out some glassware, maybe a shirt, gift cards.
Yeah. Okay.
Help out the only roaster in Elk Grove.
Yes, they actually are the only coffee roasters in Elk Grove, which is pretty incredible. They get their beans from all over the place, and they roast them in-house with their own recipes. So that's why you partnered with them.
That's it. And so we can create something that is unique to us. You're not going to the store and buying a generic coffee blend.
Why not, right? And you can also buy the Seeds to Success blend there. Did you know about this?
I saw that.
Okay, so I have my own little hybrid coffee there. So make sure that you ask for the Seeds to Success blend. Unfortunately, the 20% off deal has ended. But you can still try the Seeds of Success blend, and I'll tell you what, I'm going to do a deal. If you buy the Seeds of Success coffee, I will buy you a coffee on me.
Whoa.
So I will work that out with Lad. So stay with us here on the Seeds of Success show with Andrew from Flatland Brewing Company in Elk Grove.